I almost died in an elevator last night, not because it crashed, but because of what walked in on the fourth floor. My name is Adam Cooper. At 11:47 p.m., I stepped into a night cafe building to send one urgent email before midnight. The cafe was on the top floor. I went inside the elevator and I noticed a weird thing. The elevator had buttons, but the button for the fourth floor had been completely removed and replaced with a metal piece, so it couldn't be pressed. I didn't care about that. I pressed the button for the sixth floor and stood there lost in thought. The lift went up. First floor, second floor, third floor. Then the elevator shuddered and stopped. The number 4 glowed red above the doors. But I didn't press 4. It was a small building, and when the doors opened, I could see the hall was completely dark, with the night sky visible through the windows at the end. I wondered, where have I arrived? Nobody was waiting outside, so I turned to press the close button. But right at that moment, out of the corner of my eye, I saw a dark, strange figure, dressed in something like a gown, in the darkness, walking towards the elevator. The intensity of the light bulbs in the elevator started to flicker in a very abnormal way. She wore a stained salon smock. Her hair hung wet over her face. Water dripped from her fingertips. She didn't move, but she was closer. I was frozen. I closed my eyes and slammed the door close button. Nothing happened. I pressed 6 again and again. She tilted her head. The wet hair parted slightly. Her eyes were hollow sockets filled with black water, and she smiled with too many teeth. I was shocked. Then her hand lifted, slow, shaking, reaching toward the elevator buttons, as if to stop me. I kept pressing. The lights stopped flickering. When they went still, the doors began to close. I felt relaxed. I stumbled out, gasping for air. I wondered, what had just happened? The elevator went up, and the next time the door opened, I saw the lobby and the receptionist. I felt an immense relief. I told her everything in broken sentences. The fourth floor, the woman, the water. Her face turned pale. "It happens to people sometimes," she said. "There used to be a beauty salon on the fourth floor." She leaned back in her chair, as if she was going to start telling a story. "A woman died there 3 years ago. She committed suicide inside the salon by cutting her wrists with a knife." I felt ice spread through my chest. "Use the stairs if you're scared," she said. I took the stairs. 24 flights down. Every shadow looked like wet hair. Every echo sounded like dripping water. I finally burst through the exit door. The street was empty and rain had started to fall. Suddenly, my phone buzzed, and my Photos app opened by itself, showing 17 entry tickets to this building, all from different nights over the past 6 months. I wondered, how is this going to happen? Is this for real? I'd never been here before tonight. I looked back at the building. The fourth floor light flickered once. Her silhouette stood there watching me, still waiting, and I understood something too late. She wasn't trying to scare me. She was repeating something she no longer remembered. The building doesn't trap your body, it traps your memory. Tomorrow I won't remember the elevator or the fourth floor or her, but she'll still be there, doing the same thing. This happened to me one night, just after midnight. I was inside my friend's old 15-floor apartment building, helping him pack his things before moving out. By the time I was ready to leave, I was exhausted. I was sleepy, and I just wanted to go home as soon as possible. I said goodbye to my friend and walked into the hallway. The place was silent, empty. I was completely alone. The hallway light was flickering, and my footsteps sounded louder than they should have as I walked toward the elevator. I pressed the elevator button. The doors opened slowly. I stepped inside. The air felt cold, heavy, but I didn't care. I turned toward the control panel and pressed the ground floor. The doors closed. I looked at my phone for a second. It showed my battery was getting low. Suddenly, I looked back, and the first floor button was glowing. I didn't touch it. Another button lit up, then another. One by one, all the buttons started lighting up by themselves. The elevator started moving. The lights began to flicker. I thought, maybe it's broken. Maybe it's under maintenance. I tried to call my friend, but unfortunately, my battery died. And then I heard it, a soft scratching sound above my head, like fingers slowly dragging across metal. I looked up at the small vent in the ceiling. The sound got louder, then softer, like something was moving inside. Then I heard a child's laugh, not loud, not happy, slow, and very close. I thought, what is that? Is that a child? How could a child be inside the ceiling of an elevator? Where were the parents? How did the child get inside? All those questions rushed through my mind at once. Suddenly, the elevator stopped. The lights went out. Total darkness. I was freezing and terrified because I had no idea what was happening. The laughter stopped, and I heard whispering from the ceiling. A small voice, very close, asked, "Why did you press my floor?" I wondered who it was. I couldn't see anything because of the darkness, and my phone was dead, so I couldn't turn on the flashlight. Then I heard the voice again, very close to my ear, but this time it was rougher, more twisted. "Why did you press my floor?" Shivering, I whispered, "No, I didn't." There was silence for a few seconds. I was terrified, waiting to see what would happen next. The elevator dropped slightly. Something brushed past my hair, warm breath near my face. My heart started pounding. I felt like I was going to die. I heard breathing, right behind me. Slow, close. I didn't turn around. I closed my eyes in fear and tried to reach the door button as best as I could. I pressed it again, and again, and again. Nothing happened. The air turned colder. The breathing came closer. Soft laughter, right next to my ear. I clutched my chest in fear. I was sure I was about to have a heart attack. Then suddenly, the lights came back on. I opened my eyes slowly. The control panel looked normal. I turned around to see if anyone else was in the elevator, but there was no one. Only the ground floor button was glowing. The elevator started moving. The doors opened. Bright lobby, normal lights, no sounds. I ran out as soon as the doors opened. My legs were shaking. Before the doors closed, I turned back to look inside. Everything looked normal. No one was there. I stood there thinking, what just happened to me? Was it real, or was it all in my head? But real or not, after that night, I never went back to that building again. Days passed. Last week, my friend sent me a photo. He said that while cleaning out his old apartment storage, he found a box of old things. Inside it was a child's drawing, crayon on paper. It showed an elevator and a person inside. At the bottom, in a child's handwriting, it said, "Waiting for a friend." My friend wrote, "Found this in the elevator maintenance room. Creepy, right?" I looked closer at the drawing. The person in the elevator was wearing a blue shirt and black pants, the exact same clothes I was wearing that night. My blood ran cold. But after everything, there was still one thing I couldn't explain. If I only pressed the ground floor, then why did it ask me? Why did you press my floor? It was still a mystery. I had a strange incident in an elevator 2 years ago, and honestly, I still don't know if it was real or just in my head. I am a delivery person. I used to deliver documents to hospitals. That night, I had to deliver some urgent documents to a 15-floor hospital building. Usually, I hate the smell of the hospital. You know that smell, right? Like old medicine and cleaner mixed together. It makes me feel sick every time. So I just wanted to drop the documents and get out as fast as I could. I had to give the documents to the 10th floor. After delivering it, I went towards the elevator. The hallway stretched empty before me. Nobody was there. Just me and the silence. My head hurts from the hospital smell. I felt uneasy, but I didn't know why. I pressed the elevator button. The doors opened. Then suddenly, I heard footsteps behind me. My heart jumped. I turned around. A man came toward me, covered in white bandages. His arms, his neck, his face, everything wrapped up tight. He walked weirdly. I felt really bad for him. My chest felt heavy just watching him struggle. So I held the elevator door for him. He stepped inside without looking at me, just kept his head down the whole time. I couldn't see his face at all. He went straight to the corner and stood there. Complete silence. I felt uncomfortable. I asked him which floor. No answer. I asked again, louder this time. Nothing. He just stared at the floor, like I wasn't even there. I started getting frustrated. My jaw clenched. I held the door for him, and he acted like I'm invisible. Whatever. I pressed the ground floor button hard. The elevator started going down. Then the smell hit me. That hospital smells, but 10 times worse. Like something died and rotted under those bandages. My eyes watered. My stomach twisted into knots. I wanted to throw up. I covered my nose, but it didn't help. I kept looking at him from the corner of my eye. Something felt wrong, really wrong. My skin was crawling. Why won't he move? Why won't he breathe? I didn't see his chest moving at all. Then suddenly there was a power cut. Everything went black. Total darkness. I searched for my phone and turned on the torch. I looked at the corner where the person was standing. My heart exploded in my chest. I couldn't breathe. The corner was empty. No one was there. My hands were shaking so bad. Panic shot through my whole body. I checked everywhere and spun around and looked at the ceiling and the walls and behind me, and my light was jumping all over, searching for him. I couldn't stop shaking. My breath came out in gasps. Where has he gone? My legs felt weak. I pressed myself against the wall. How could he go, even if the doors were closed? There's nowhere to go. I felt like I was going crazy. What's going on? My heart wouldn't stop pounding. Sweat dripped down my back, even though I felt freezing cold. After what felt like forever, the lights came back on. The elevator hummed like normal, but I felt terrified. The doors opened, my legs barely worked. I ran to the receptionist's desk. I was breathing so hard, I could barely talk. I asked her why the power went out. She looked at me like I was speaking another language. She said there was no power cut. The hospital's been running fine all night. My blood went ice cold. Then what happened in that elevator? I told her about the bandaged man and the power cut. My voice was shaking. She stared at me for a second. Then she told me. All the patients got moved to the other hospital branch due to the maintenance. No patients here at all. I felt like the floor dropped under me. I told her I saw someone. He came from the 10th floor, covered head to toe in bandages. She gave me this look, like she felt sorry for me, like she thought I was losing it. But then she said, "Let me check the cameras." She pulled up the footage. 10th floor hallway. There I am, walking to the elevator. I press the button. The doors open. I step inside. And the elevator is completely empty. Nobody was behind me. Nobody walks in. Just me, alone. I stared at that screen. My mind couldn't process it. I saw him. I held the door for him. He was right there next to me. I even smelled him. But the camera shows nothing. Then she paused the video and leaned closer to the screen. Suddenly, her face was drained of all colors. Her hand trembled on the mouse. "Wait," she whispered, and her voice cracked. "Look at your hands." In the footage, my hands were held out, keeping the door open. For several seconds, for nobody. But that's not what made her gasp. That's not what made her eyes go wide with fear. On the elevator's mirrored wall, barely visible in the grain of the footage, there was a shadow in the corner, a dark shape where nothing stood, and my reflection. My reflection was looking right at it. She shut off the monitor fast and wouldn't meet my eyes. Her breathing quickened. "You should go home," she said quietly, and I heard the terror underneath those words. "Don't come back here." I opened my mouth to ask, what else did she see in that footage? What made her hands shake like that? What drained every drop of blood from her face? But the look in her eyes stopped me cold. I never asked her what else she saw. I don't think I want to know, because sometimes the worst answers are the ones that confirm your deepest fears, that what you saw was real and that it saw you too.